Life throws us daily challenges. Living with depression or anxiety can strip us of our joy. At SpirClip, our goal is to provide helpful insight to make your life's journey easier. Welcome to SpirClip, a journey to a better you. And we're touching on a lot of different topics that is really good and really important, but I think it all comes to an all-encompassing sort of idea, which is, I believe, we should spend more time getting to know the very essence, the molecular essence of us, right? You know, like you said, we don't have to go and just chase these pleasures and happiness and this and that. You know, a lot of that is like what you're kind of touching on before. It's all part of the analytical part.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, our brain says we need this, we need that. No.
Mm-hmm.
It's about,
and I can attest too is that I'm a very mental person. I'm very like I think about this stuff a lot, and I find that the more that I think about it and the more I try to know it, the more miserable I become, to be honest. And the more that I accept just in the moment what is the more kind of peaceful and the more joy I sort of feel. So the mental body is sort of I think the mental body is the one thing that kind of keeps us from actually knowing ourselves, because I don't think you can truly understand it with the mind, but when you understand it with the heart, it's different. That frequency or that sine wave, that's coming through the pulse of your heart, right?
But
that's where
why
emotion
the heart
comes from, right?
Why, Nicole, why the heart? When people say, you know, the heart chakra, the heart energy, the heart electromagnetic field, what is it about the heart itself that makes it so important and unique to our human nature to experience and know thyself in a way? What is it about?
Well, so basically, when I talk about the sine wave, right, I usually talk about the beginning, middle, and the end, and then it goes down, but then it kind of comes back up, and it creates this sort of toroidal field. Okay, everything has a toroidal or a torus field around it. So this could be again a whole other talk, but the center of that torus field, or the center of creation, is actually the heart, right? It's the center of the torus field of the energetic body that you are. So it's literally where your life force is coming out of. And this can even be proven in quantum physics as well, if you want to look at that. But literally the tone or the frequency that your heart is at is literally going to be the frequency of your reality. So that's why, even talk about Buddhist monks again, the breathing exercises, everything is centered around concentrating on the chest, breathing, heart rhythm. Everything is about toning the heart rhythm and getting imbalance within the heart. That's exactly why they do that, because they know that is what tones the frequency of the your entire reality.
That is so key.
And also
so
think
important.
about the word. And if we are the universe, if we are source creation, what is art, right? Art is a creationary act. And if you think about heart and art are almost the exact same words. So your creationary force is coming right from the center, right? It doesn't come from when you're thinking. Artists aren't thinking all the time. They're expressing. That's more of a passive energy that comes through the heart.
And I don't know if people know this, but I've looked it up previously in other research, but I think people don't understand that. I think the heart actually has its own neurons, like
it does. Has its own mind.
Its own mind. It has its own mind. So, I mean, and it's just so powerful, the electromagnetic field around our heart and everything that you just described. I mean, if we really get in tune with that. And I like that idea of what you said, and this is what I do personally. Like, if you get your morning right, I think it can generally set a good tone the rest of your day. As in general, you know, it depends. But I mean, for myself, I've changed my practice of how I spend the first 2 or 3 hours every day, which is almost by myself, pretty much. And man, my life's really changed. You know.
Yeah, 100%. And it's funny that you said the word morning too, because we also have to look at, like, if you really also want to understand how you're creating the world around you, understand your words, and even the word mourning. What happens when someone dies, right? Not every religion, or not even religion, like culture around the world has a different way of describing that. But the English language is really interesting, that we call the end of our work week weekend. You know, the rising of the morning is morning. It's really, really interesting. But when you look at where we're at in society and how we perceive our work and how we perceive our lives, it's not too dissimilar than the words that we're using, right? So that's what, when I teach these classes, I always try to tell people to change that one word to morning into something like rising, right? Or rising, right? Rising, or something different, because those words, we talked about some of the systems that kind of suppress information a little bit. Well, guess what? I think a lot of this stuff kind of comes from there.